Your benefits page says 4% match. That does not necessarily mean 4% appears automatically. Under one possible formula, you may need to contribute 5% of your pay to reach a 4% employer contribution. So the raise you could be missing is not cash hiding in your paycheck. It is an employer contribution behind a formula, with eligibility, timing, vesting, fees, tax treatment, and withdrawal rules attached. In the next 10 minutes, we will translate the formula into plain English, run one fully labeled example, and build a 6-line checklist for your own plan. General financial education only. Your actual plan, documents, finances, and tax situation control your decision. Start with 2 separate money flows. Flow 1 is your elective deferral. You choose a percentage or dollar amount, and that money moves from your compensation into the 401k, subject to the plan's terms and federal limits. Flow 2 is the employer contribution. If the plan offers a match and you meet its conditions, the employer contributes according to the plan's formula. Your contribution is not the match. The match is not deducted from your pay. And an employer contribution does not reduce the amount the IRS allows you to defer from your own salary. A separate overall limit applies to the combined additions later. Picture 2 rails. The blue rail is labeled You. The mint rail is labeled Employer. Your rail can open the employer rail, but the 2 amounts do not have to be equal. That is why the phrase 4% match is incomplete. We need the formula. Here is one formula you might see. 100% of the first 3% you contribute, plus 50% of the next 2%. This is a teaching example, not a claim about your employer. Read each tier separately. First tier. For the first 3% of compensation you contribute, the employer contributes the same amount. Second tier. For the next 2% you contribute, the employer contributes half that amount. The match rate and the contribution cap do different jobs. 50% is the rate applied inside a tier. The next 2% is the slice of compensation eligible for that rate. Do not multiply one percentage and stop. Build each tier, then add the employer pieces. The IRS uses another example, 50% of employee contributions up to 5% of annual salary, to show the same idea. The formula's rate and cap must both be applied. The real conditions live in the plan information. Now, the worked example. Every number is hypothetical. Assume a $60,000 annual salary and this formula, 100% of the first 3% contributed, plus 50% of the next 2%. First tier. 3% of $60,000 is $1,800. The employer matches that tier 1 for 1, so the employer contributes $1,800. Second tier. 2% of $60,000 is $1,200. The employer matches half of that tier, so the employer contributes $600. Add the employee pieces. $1,800 plus $1,200 equals $3,000. That is 5% of salary. Add the employer pieces. $1,800 plus $600 equals $2,400. That is 4% of salary. Together, $3,000 plus $2,400 equals $5,400, or 9% of salary before any fees or investment change. On a monthly teaching view, that is $250 from the employee and $200 from the employer. Actual payroll timing, rounding, eligible compensation, and crediting can differ. Here is the important translation. The end of this hypothetical formula is not contribute 4%. It is contribute 5% to make a 4% employer contribution available. At 3% from the employee, the employer contribution is $1,800, leaving $600 of the hypothetical maximum uncaptured. At 4% from the employee, the employer contribution is $2,100, leaving $300 uncaptured. At 5%, the formula reaches its end. That is the number you are trying to extract from your own plan. The employee percentage needed to reach the end of the actual match formula. Correct arithmetic is not enough. Gate 1 is eligibility. Can you participate now, or does the plan require a waiting period or another condition? Gate 2 is the definition of compensation. Does the formula use base pay, bonuses, commissions, or another plan-defined amount? Gate 3 is timing. Is the match calculated each paycheck, across the plan year, or through another method? If you change contributions during the year, does the plan have a year-end true-up? Those are questions, not universal rules. The summary plan description explains rights, benefits, eligibility, contribution sources, and calculation methods. Current notices and the plan administrator can clarify changes. Do not copy a coworker's percentage. Do not rely on a benefits page headline. Read the formula and ask how the plan applies it. Then comes vesting. Your own elective deferrals are always 100% vested. They are your contributions. Employer contributions can be different. A 401k plan may use a vesting schedule defined in the plan document. If part of an employer contribution is not vested when employment ends, that unvested amount may be forfeited under the plan's rules. Imagine the account statement shows $2,400 of employer contributions in our hypothetical. That does not prove all $2,400 is vested. Look for both the account balance and the vested balance, and ask the plan administrator if the distinction is unclear. The plan documents explain the schedule. This does not make the match imaginary. It means ownership can depend on time and plan terms. Write down two separate numbers: employer contributions credited and employer contributions vested. Now separate the plan formula from federal contribution limits. For 2026, the employee elective deferral limit for most 401k plans is $24,500. If the plan permits catch-ups, the general 50 or older catch-up is $8,000, and the higher catch-up for ages 60 through 63 is $11,250. Those are ceilings, not targets, and plan terms can impose a lower limit. A separate annual additions limit generally covers employee deferrals other than catch-ups, employer match, other employer contributions, and forfeiture allocations in accounts maintained by one employer and related employers. For 2026, that is generally the lesser of 100% of compensation, or $72,000. The IRS expresses the corresponding totals as $80,000 with the general catch-up, or up to $83,250 for ages 60 through 63. You do not need those large numbers to decode a basic match. You need them to avoid confusing an employer formula with an IRS ceiling. A match can be valuable without being literally free or guaranteed. First, taxes. Traditional elective deferrals generally avoid federal income tax withholding when contributed, but still count as wages for Social Security and Medicare taxes. Designated Roth deferrals are taxed when contributed. Qualified Roth distributions can be tax-free if the requirements are met. Not every plan offers the same choices. Second, fees and investments. The Department of Labor says plan administrative fees and investment fees can affect returns and retirement income. Review the plan's fee and investment disclosures instead of assuming the contribution alone determines the result. Third, access. A 401k is not a checking account. The plan specifies when distributions are allowed. A taxable distribution before age 59 and a half may face an additional 10% tax unless an exception applies. Plan loans and hardship features, if any, also depend on the plan, and investments can rise or fall. The employer contribution is a contribution, not a guaranteed future balance. Here is the checklist. Line 1, eligibility. When can you contribute and when can you receive employer contributions? Line 2, formula. For each tier, write the match rate and the slice of compensation to which it applies. Line 3, employee percentage. Add the employee slices. That is the contribution rate needed to reach the end of the formula, not necessarily the employer's final rate. Line 4, timing. Ask how eligible compensation and contributions are measured when the match is credited and whether a year-end true-up applies. Line 5, vesting. Record the vested percentage and what happens under the plan if employment ends. Line 6, fees, tax, and access. Read the fee disclosure, identify whether your employee deferral is traditional or Roth if the plan offers both, and review the distribution rules. Use the current summary plan description, recent notices, benefits portal, and plan administrator. If the language conflicts or the tax consequences matter to your decision, get qualified benefits or tax help. The whole system fits on one card. Separate your contribution from the employer contribution. Decode every formula tier. Find the employee percentage that reaches the formula's end, then verify eligibility, timing, vesting, fees, tax treatment, and access. In our hypothetical, 5% from the employee makes a 4% employer contribution available. That is why a 4% match headline was not enough. Your next action is simple. Open your current plan summary and fill in the 6 lines. Do not start with the biggest federal limit. Start with your actual formula. The raise you could be missing is not a promise. It is a plan, benefit you can only evaluate after you read the conditions. General financial education only, not personal financial investment, tax, or legal advice.